Well, good morning or good afternoon again, everybody. My name is Steve Gomez, Professional Development Manager with Milady, and welcome to our fifth series in our webinar series. This is a platform by which we here at Milady provide you with resources, systems, and structures to educate you on various different important topics that help you take your business to the next level. Today's class is the first of a three-part series related to marketing. And today is Market Your Way to More Money, creating a marketing plan that works. This is a particular area that's near and dear to my heart. This is a background that I have in studying marketing back in school, and I actually, in my way back in my earlier 20s, I opened a marketing company, and I successfully marketed hundreds of salons all over the United States. So this is a particular area that I love to talk about, and this particular session is really going to be geared towards structure and organization with marketing. Marketing is something that, unfortunately, in our industry, we tend to do hit or miss. Now, in the last 10 years as a business coach, I've worked with over 130 salons and spas of different shapes and sizes, and my job as a coach and my commitment is to look at your structure, look at your current business model, see what's working, but maybe you're working way too hard to make it work, and also what's not working the way you want it and what systems are missing that if we added them would make them work better. And one of the areas that I have seen throughout the years where we take a hit or miss approach, we come from a reactive way of thinking is marketing. Usually we just try and throw something together and hope it works, or we stick to the old patented let's market during the seasons like Valentine's Day because it's that time of year, so we should do a promotion. But as you're going to see in this presentation today, marketing is something that is a year-round conversation. It's a huge strategic piece of your business that needs your attention, your direction, your follow-through, your ingenuity, and most importantly, your reflection. It's an area that you have to actually stop, analyze, look at what's going on, and make well-thought-out plans that you then follow through on to ensure that they happen. So that's what we're going to dig into today. Again, as I get started, for those of you just joining me, couple of housekeeping things. If you have any questions, off to the right-hand side, you'll see where you can type in a question. And as you type in that question, I have Elizabeth Bushy with me today. She's a member of our team, and she's going to be supporting me to field questions that need to come my way. Any technical-related questions she will handle, and then any questions related to the information that I'm going to provide you with today, she will get to me, and I will do my best to answer them in the flow of my conversation with you. At the end of the presentation, if there are any other further questions, I will give you an opportunity to write down my email address and ways that you can connect with us so we can provide you with the help that you need as we move forward. So as we think about marketing and look at marketing overall, our plan is to understand all of the components of an effective marketing plan, learn how to identify the need in your business. Like, what is my business saying I should market on versus what I feel I might need to do, and how to create your marketing program. We're then going to be delving into, in our next Part 2 of this webinar series, we're going to be delving into low-cost marketing campaigns and plans and different programs that don't cost you a lot of money that help you be effective in improving and growing your business. And in our third part, I'm going to be delving into social media, which is something that I've got a program for you that's super powerful. Those of you that have seen me present it out on the road in the last couple of years, you know what's coming. It's a great course, and that'll be part 3. And again, I'll come back at the end and touch on those two so you know, again, when they're going to be released and when they're coming up. But those 2 sessions along with today is really going to give you an overall look at how important this piece of your business is. So let's actually start by looking at that. When you think about your business is made up of areas, almost like the four corners of a wall that you need to put foundation into, whether you're a business owner or manager or you're an independent contractor, a booth renter. You have to look at these four areas, and you have to put systems in place to make them work. Those four areas are sales, marketing, operations, and finance. Usually what I've seen in my years of coaching salons and spas all over the U.S. and Canada is that we don't spend enough time organizing our business and putting structure in place. So we just kind of do it hit or miss, do it as a problem comes up, manage it when we can. Let's get to it later, late at night or on our days off when I'm exhausted and tired, and the last thing I want to do is look at an issue. And if I hear the word foundation and system, well, I like foundation if it has to do with color, but if it has to do with creating foundation systems and structure for the business, why do I have to do that? Well, because you chose to open a business. That's why. So, ultimately, what I would love for you to do is write down the word system. Because everything that you do, that every haircut, every color, every facial, every set of nails, every great massage is based upon systems that you learn that you now pretty much do in your sleep, and new systems that you go out and learn at hands-on workshops, at shows, etc. The same has to be applied to your business. The more time that you put into system and structure in the business, the more continuity and balance you're going to have in the environment, which will serve not only yourself, but the people that you work with, and obviously will create a better experience for your team. So those four areas are crucial to your business. Today, just going to focus, of course, on marketing. So what is marketing? Well, the dictionary says that marketing is the act or business of promoting, distributing, and selling of a product or service. So that's what marketing is. But I'll have you think that marketing, to me, really is capturing the essence of who you are and marrying that essence to the need and want of your guest. I'll say that again because it's not on a slide. Marketing is capturing the essence of who you are and marrying that to the need and desire of the guests that are coming into your business. So you have to know your essence. You have to be able to convey who you are. To me, marketing is not just some great little gimmick that has temporary effect. Marketing is being able to set a tone and send a consistent message to your guests time and time again of who you are, what you're committed to, what's in your heart, what you believe, and what you value about what you do. That's what's important. So it's not just the act or business of promoting, distributing, and selling of a product or service. It's really distilling to anybody and everyone who you are, what you value, and what you're committed to. Now, marketing can be conveyed in a lot of different ways. There's traditional marketing like advertising in a newspaper or trade journal or free local city magazine, to viral marketing like emails that go out to all of your guests in your database, to, of course, social media, tweeting, YouTube, and, of course, Facebooking, having a fan page, etc. So, again, there's lots of different ways that we can distill marketing, and we should be using all of them, not just putting our eggs in one basket. It's important to remember that because, A, not everybody is on social media, although it feels like most everybody is. Not everybody likes to read emails or goes about their business that way. And not everybody, and a lot of people have left the traditional forms of advertising, like reading newspapers and do everything online, but there's still a lot of people that are purists like that. Kindles be damned. It's amazing how even though technology continues to advance, we still have people that have their preferences. So you have to utilize all these different platforms and, of course, track them to ensure what's working and what's not. Now, as we delve deeper into marketing, I do want to give you one little tidbit that should help you. In my years of teaching courses in our industry, people sometimes get confused and they actually collapse together, advertising and marketing. But I'll have you look at them in two distinct ways. Advertising is what you're doing externally and outside of your business to your community at large. Marketing is what you're doing internally inside the business to your existing client base. So I'll say it again. Advertising is something you do externally outside the business to the community at large, and marketing is something that you do internally inside the business to your existing client base. I'm also going to tell you this, that you should be taking 80% of your marketing time, budget, and resources, you have an advertising marketing budget, so I'm going to reframe it that way, and you should be taking 80% of the resources, i.e. time and money, in marketing and 20% in advertising. 80-20. 80% marketing, 20% advertising. The reason why you want to do that is, from a marketing standpoint, it's more controllable. You're creating a promotion to people that are already loyal and love you. You can track it. You can see how many people in your database actually went for the promotion. Did it work? Did it not? You can actually track who on your team communicated it well, who didn't. So you have a better opportunity to get more immediate results, trackable results, and know if something's working or not so you can make changes on the fly. 20% of the time you should advertise because it's always important to let your community know who you are and what you're doing. And in part 2 of our webinar series, I will be getting into marketing strategies and advertising strategies that you can use. So marketing versus branding is really the next step of the puzzle to look at. Branding is the character of your business, and marketing is how you convey that character. So, again, when I talk about the essence of who you are and distilling that and disseminating that to the culture and the people in your area, that essence is really your brand, how you brand you and how you build that brand awareness. So the character and essence of your business is something important for you to understand and be able to clearly articulate, so then you can convey that character and essence. The objects a great brand achieves, well, it delivers your message clearly. It confirms your credibility as a business. It connects to your customers emotionally, and I'll come back to that. It motivates the buyer, and it solidifies user loyalty. So when you're clear about your brand and who you are, it really sends a clear message. For example, we all know that little bullseye represents Target. We know the swoosh means Nike. So immediately it's delivering a message, one of convenience, another of great athletic wear. And, that's just my interpretation. But it delivers a message clearly that we all know. A good and powerful brand confirms your credibility. It means that, and I heard once a branding expert in a class that I attended when I was learning all of this, she said that your effective branding is capturing and maintaining the presence in your client's mind. Now, I'll say that again, capturing and maintaining the presence in your client's mind. So if I'm capturing and maintaining the presence in my client's mind, that means that if I come into your business and I love what you do, anytime I think of hair, I think of you and your business. That's capturing the presence in my mind. That's what branding is. And when we say it's confirming your credibility, that's what we mean. So when you create a powerful brand message, you're connecting to your customers emotionally. And that's what's really important about effective marketing and branding is that if you're doing this so you can grow, it's all about you. When you're creating your brand message and creating strategies to market the business, you have to be doing it out of a commitment to serve others, not yourself. And when you're committed to serving others and tapping into the emotional needs and practical needs of people that are in your area, you're going to motivate them to come to you, which will solidify loyalty with existing and new potential business. So you have to remember, it's really a very subtle context that I'm talking about. Your ability to really engage. My message is all about the guest, not about how great we are, but about how we can serve other people and provide solutions for them. Because as a consumer, we're all looking for solutions. So the next time when you get done with this series and you sit down with your team and you're creating marketing messages, you really have to come from the place of who are we committed to help? How do we want to help them? What difference and impact will we make for them? What solution are we providing? And how can we language that so people get it really clearly? You do that every time you work on a marketing campaign, odds are you'll pretty much have a successful program. So when you think about branding, you do branding a lot of different ways. Obviously, your commitment is to make a strong impression, that first impression. You do that with your company name, your logo, and how you're repetitively getting that information out there. You also create a powerful brand by creating a value proposition. Here's who we are. Here's what we provide. Here's the benefits of our service and what we do and how we do it. You also brand yourself by your price point. And you brand yourself by the service that you provide. So to me, here's where the cart comes before the horse. A lot of times, we're not doing all of the work behind the scenes that we need to be doing in order to support the experience that we're conveying in our branding and marketing messages. So as a coach, I work with salon and spa owners and managers time again to ensure that before we even do the next marketing or advertising promotion, we have to ensure that the business is adequately prepared for what we need to do. If not, we're going to spend money and time and energy to put something out there, and then people are going to be coming into an environment that is not conducive to the message that they got from us, which is going to turn them off and they're going to leave. So how do we do that? By putting systems and structure in place. So here's a flow chart for you, and I'm going to leave it up here for a minute so you can write some of this down, but please don't forget that we will have this recording published. And Liz, if you can write me a note and just remind me, I believe it'll be published by next Monday, but please confirm that for me. But either way, you will be able to come back and watch this again and pause it and write this down if you need to. But here's a flow chart that you need to take into account. First and foremost, on the left-hand side, and I'll use my little pointer, any advertising or marketing campaign that you put together, you have to do in a systematic way. You have to create the strategies. You then have to utilize the mediums with which you're going to get the message out. So what are marketing and advertising mediums? That would be newspapers, billboard, TV, radio, internet, social media, etc. Word of mouth campaigns, internal marketing promotions to existing customers. That's what we mean by mediums. You then have to design your program and then, again, work on the mediums with which you get it out there, internet, social media, etc. And you have to track everything that you do. Now, there's also community events. And you should be doing events minimally every 90 days. Every 90 days, you should be doing something outside the business or inside the business. Inside the business, examples of that could be customer appreciation nights, trunk shows, parties, things like that. Outside the salon could be being connected to local charitable companies or organizations, Locks of Love, Susie B. Komen Foundation, etc., and so on. So on an ongoing basis, you need to be planning and organizing events that are different from what anybody else is doing and that give your customers to engage you other than when they come in. And this is the crucial piece of hosting or being involved in events in your community at least once every 90 days. You're creating an impression for people other than when they come in and see you, and that's what you want to do. It keeps people on their toes. Thanks, Liz. So Elizabeth said to me that we will be posting this next Monday, everybody. So as I'm done going through this, if you haven't written all of this down, you'll be able to come back to it and get the information next week. And the last piece of this flow chart, of the marketing flow chart, is your image, who you are, how you convey that. And that's obviously done through your business cards and your menu, newsletters, whether it's actual, paper newsletters, to postcards, to e-newsletters, any literature that you put out there, and any public relations opportunities that you're a part of. Everything needs to be uniform, needs to look the same, and needs to convey the same message that you put out. And I'm going to be digging into that as we continue. So let's get into some important steps that we have to take to create a marketing program that works. So as I said at the top, in my experience as a coach these last 10 years, a lot of salons that I've worked with, we just knee-jerk our marketing programs. We put something together. For example, we over-order inventory, and you're going to see an example of that coming up here with a client that I've worked with. And we just need to get the stuff moving off the shelves, so we just throw together a marketing promotion hoping it works. So we're doing something reactionary. So what I'm about to teach you is the most efficient and effective way by which you create a marketing program. And it starts with reflection. Write that down, everybody. And those of you that have listened to my webinar series throughout this year, you always hear me talking about this. You have to take the time in your schedule to reflect and analyze things. Analysis is the key to success, because when you analyze things and you slow your roll and you look at what's going on, you're going to have a lot more clarity. You're going to become more ingenious. And what I mean by that is you're going to have more ideas. You're going to be a lot more clear and have much more fresh perspectives, because you're slowing down and taking the opportunity to put your finger on the pulse of what's really going on, as opposed to doing something knee-jerk. So how do we identify the need? First and foremost, by our budget. Secondly, by analyzing sales trends. And then by creating our plan. So we cannot do anything until we have identified the need. So we're going to break down each of these areas. So let's talk about budget first. So first and foremost, you have to have your finances in order. You have to have a profit and loss statement. You have to be analyzing what your break-even points are. They help you gain clarity. It helps you see the money and how much you need. I'm going to give you an example of a client of mine that I worked with here in the Santa Monica area, Taka Salon. But ultimately, before I go through the example, if you do not have your finances in order, and if you're not getting a profit and loss statement in your hands each month that has everything separated out so you can get a good idea of where, how much money you're making or not making, where your money's going or not going, you're really going to be in the dark as far as what your business is saying you need to spend your marketing dollars on. So as it relates to spending your marketing dollars, you do have a marketing budget. And that marketing budget is minimally 2% of total sales each month. I'll say that again, 2% of total sales. So total sales is service sales, retail sales, gift certificate sales, rental income, any means with which you make money all combined together. That's your total sales. 2% of that a month minimally, whether you are in the black or the red. So if you had a month or you're not making money, you still need to spend the money, because if you don't do that, you're not going to be able to grow and increase your business volume, get more customers, and get out of the financial place you're in. And this is an issue that I've seen over and over and over, where we don't spend any money on marketing and we just rely on hoping that a referral program works to get more customers to come in, hoping that we get drive-by traffic. And now I hope that if I put a message out there every day on Facebook, hopefully that'll help too. None of that's going to work unless you are organized first, take the time to understand what your business is saying you need to do and create a plan. Let me show you an example of that. So I was working with a salon in Santa Monica a few years back, and we were able to, by analyzing her profit and loss statement, notice some interesting trends. First and foremost, her retail sales were 8.68% retail to service. Now, minimally, you want to be at 15%. So that was the first aha that we saw. That was red light number one. Red light number two was she was over-purchasing. Your retail inventory budget, the amount of money you should be spending to restock the shelves of what customers purchase, is 50%. And as you can see, she was at 96%. And your advertising budget, again, 2%, she was at 1.33%. So she was under budget. Now, you could spend between 1.5% to 2%. I always like to say 2% with your advertising budget. So when you look at all of this, this was a recipe for not being profitable and having lots of product on the shelf. So for those of you that, you just order the best deal that comes in when your sales consultants come in with the deal of the week and you just buy it because it's a deal, this is exactly the type of stuff that was going on in this particular example. So what we did was we created a plan to actually really focus in on her ordering to get that in line, and we focused on internal structures to increase retail sales at the point of service, consultations, retailing, making recommendations at the end of the service, and we put marketing promotions together. We actually had promotions going on that were driving rebooking and retail purchasing on the spot, and we had a customer event as well, which allowed us to do retail gift baskets and include retail purchases. When somebody bought a gift certificate, they could get retail, etc. We did a myriad of different things because the numbers told us to do it. And here's what we were able to do. In about a 4-month time period, we were able to increase her retail sales. And these are monthly numbers, everybody. All right, we increased the dollar amount by $12.91 a month, and we increased the retail to service percentage by 2.98%. We also focused super hard on her purchasing. Now, you're going to notice she actually spent more money than before, and let me go back so you can see that. She was spending $28.77.95 a month on average, so she actually was spending $33.73.56, so $495 more dollars. However, notice the percentage went down from 96 to 78. This was 4 months in. So we were making a significant impact in our purchasing patterns. Why did we spend more? Because the sales went up. That's why. So even though we were spending more in dollar, the percentage was coming down. And then our advertising, we were at 2.4%. So we got, again, a bit more aggressive. We did an event, which I put a budget on her for the event. We didn't just go spend wildly. And we were doing internal marketing promotions to really get it going. So this is where your ability to have a budget, to understand your finances, to look at what your numbers are telling you, and to create promotions around what the numbers say make a significant impact on what you're doing, everybody. So the next piece of the puzzle is analyzing your sales trends. And this is another thing that I see in our industry we just don't do enough of. You have to track your sales. Not only do you have to track your sales, but you have to track your sales, I would like at least for you to have the last 3 years of numbers. If you don't have the last 3 years of numbers, you should at least have the last 12 months of numbers. And if you don't have any of it, then you need to start tracking it as of last month in January and begin to get yourself current. And you need to track your sales, as it relates to service sales, retail sales, gift certificate sales, rental income. If you are selling merchandise like jewelry, accessories, handbags, things like that, they need to be tracked separate from the retail products that your customers buy related to the services. So everything needs to be separated and needs to be tracked on a daily, weekly, monthly basis. Look at it per quarter, biannually, and, of course, yearly. The ability for you to go back and say, okay, here's how we did in January from a client standpoint. How did we do last January from a client standpoint? How was our average ticket in service this January versus last January? What are the trends? These type of things are going to allow you to look for peak months. Whoa, sorry, I pressed the wrong button. It's going to allow you to look for peak months, seasons, and trends. So you can forecast ahead, placing your marketing promotions where and when you need them. So imagine if you begin to track your finances and look at your budget and you start looking back at what your sales are saying, you're going to be able to do things before they happen. A great example, I have a client, Salon Artif in Ephrata, Pennsylvania, and we had a coaching call last Friday, and she had to submit to me promotions for this coming August. Because as we track her numbers, and I've been coaching her for 3 years now, we know that August is the lowest month for client volume in her year, no matter what. So because we know this, notice I gave her the assignment in January, we had a call in February, we're already planning what we're going to be doing to capture what we need to in August to improve that dip in client volume. We're thinking about it now, not 2 weeks before, but now. So this is the importance of knowing your sales trends, because you could have a gut feeling, or you could kind of, well, I know when we're slow and when we're busy. Good for you, but that's too ambiguous, and it's not clear. You need to know exactly. Well, yeah, August is a low volume month, but to know exactly, well, how much is August a low volume month? Oh, we dip about $6,000 in volume. We lose about 250 clients because people take off and go on vacation. Whoa, okay, look at those numbers. Huge impact. It's going to make you think about it well in advance and come up with creative programs. So she came back at me with some great promotions that I'm having her tweak again, and we have the time to work on it now, so it's not like it's a stressful thing that we're having a knee-jerk reaction to. So get your numbers organized, get your tracking in place, and begin to look at the trends, everybody. I can't say that enough. It's crucial to successful marketing. So once you've analyzed the numbers and you have a clear idea of what the numbers are saying, i.e. what your business is saying it needs, you now can begin to work on your marketing plan. And inside your marketing plan, before you even create the program, you have to ascertain and look at things like demographics, survey your customers, and understand what your competitors are doing. Now, let me just double check something here. Okay, let me just go back to this slide. All right. So demographics is and most of you know what this is, but just it bears me ensuring that I talk about it. Demographics is statistical information about the area that you live in, or the areas, the surrounding zip codes in your area. Demographics are going to give you statistics such as the average median household income, the average cost of a house in your area, the different breakdowns of ethnicities in your area, what percentage of people that live in the areas that you're in are Caucasian, African American, Asian, Latin American, etc. The breakdown of male versus female, the breakdown of children versus people that are in their 20s to 30s and people that are elderly, and so on. So it's a lot of important statistical information. You can get your demographics off of your local Chamber of Commerce website. Again, your Chamber of Commerce website is the best way to get the current, most up-to-date demographics of the area that you live in. Go take a look at that, because it's going to allow you to have a good understanding of who's in your area. You also should be able to track with most software programs male versus female client base, and that's important, and the age groups. So you can actually take a look at what that is. For example, if you think you need to do a men's promotion, but 91% of your clients are female and 9% are men, more than likely you're putting your marketing eggs into the wrong basket. Now, I'm not saying you don't want to do something for those men, but should it be something predominantly that you spend your marketing budget on in a situation like that? Probably not. That's the power of knowing your demographics. Customer surveys is the next piece. So some of us do them, and we don't have that much success with them. I recommend that you do not mail them out. They usually don't work. Don't email them out. That doesn't work too. You're just sending me another thing in the mail I'm going to throw away and another email of hundreds I got today that I don't want to get to. So I think the best way to do a survey is when the customers first come in and they're in your waiting area. Now, this bears speaking to because you want to talk about marketing. In the first 5 to 10 minutes that a guest is in your business and they're sitting in your waiting area, what are you doing to convey your messages to your guests? Are they sitting on their BlackBerry or iPhone looking at and being on Facebook when they could be engaging your business, answering questions, and getting something small and special because of it? That's when you should be doing your surveys. And you're getting your guests to think about you and your business as opposed to sitting there, even though they're in your business, and not having a captive audience with you because they're drifting off somewhere else. And analyzing your competitors is a great piece of really, again, understanding and creating a plan. Some of you on the call have probably done this, but I couldn't recommend enough. Go out there and pay for a service in your area full price that you get for free. You'll have much higher level of respect for what you provide to your guests. You'll learn a lot. Now, if you go out judging and looking for all the things that don't work, don't even waste your time. Go and look for what a business does that does work. If I had $1 for every time I've sent somebody out and they come back and say, well, it confirms for me how great I am, what a waste of time. Don't go out looking to compare and judge how you're better than somebody else. Go out there and look for what is this business doing that we're not doing. How are they conveying their message, not only online, on Facebook, with advertisements, but what type of events are they doing? How am I greeted when I walk in to get a service? Do they have any marketing promotions that I was impressed by? That's what you should go out and do, researching your competitors to see what they're doing. Create a network in your area. Some of you probably do this already. So, having a network of other like-minded salons that have the same level of integrity, that have the same commitment, that provide the same level of service that you do, and bounce best ideas and practices off of them. It's a great strategy to do. So, notice now, let me press that again. There we go. Now we can begin to create our program. So notice, here I am 40 minutes into the class, and now we're going to talk about creating the marketing program. I spent the bulk of my time with you today talking about the importance of analysis because it is crucial to the long-term success of any strategy in your business. So to recap it, boy, oh boy, stick to your budget. Have a real good idea of where you should be spending your marketing dollars and how much you should be spending, and knowing those sales trends, understanding what your guests are saying by surveying them, knowing the demographics in your area, and looking at what your competitors are doing that's inventive and creative. Once you've done all this work, now you can create your program. Sticking to the budget, coming up with the different marketing mediums that you need, working on your design, creating tracking and incentives, and having a team meeting to launch it. So we're going to talk about some of these here. And we're going to start by talking about the design. You need to create a visual experience and a verbal experience that create curiosity, intrigue, and get the guests thinking about your business in a way that makes them want to find out more. So let's take a look at visual experience. So the image has to reflect the vision of your business. What do I mean by that? If you are in a downtown, fast-paced, fun, high-energy, well-lit, haute couture type of salon, you don't want to have images that show soothing, relaxing experiences being had, because that's not the environment that you have. If you have a spa, you need to have images that reflect that vision, that create that relaxation. Here's a great example. I live in Southern California here in Orange County. My wife and I are going to go celebrate Valentine's Day at a spa, Glen Ivy Spa, and it's like a destination spa, and it's all outdoors, and they have the natural mud baths and all this stuff. And when you go on their websites, they do a really good job of showing those type of pictures that really convey that to you, and it creates a lot of excitement. So we're really fired up to go get those type of treatments together. That's a good example of the image has to reflect your vision. It needs to be simple. Visually, it needs to be colorful, and it has to be eye-catching. It has to make your guest or prospective guest stop and take a look and say, wow, what's that? And it has to be simple. It can't be over the top and so much that I get turned off by it, or it just drowns out what you're really trying to convey. And then as it relates to the visual experience internally, you need to decorate your whole business with it. So let's say that you're doing something related to Valentine's Day and you have the whole heart-shaped theme going. So obviously having some heart-shaped candy and, chocolates in a bowl up at the front desk at your stations makes sense. If you have any heart-shaped cut-out promotions, that should not only be up at the front desk, that should have been sent out in postcards last month talking about what you're doing this month. When I go to the retail area and in the waiting area, I should see reminders of that theme. You should have cut out little heart-shaped things that are kind of hanging from the ceiling. Heart-shaped pillows could be everywhere. When I go into the waiting room or in the bathrooms, I see it again. When I'm at the stations or in the treatment rooms, I see it again. Decorate the whole business, make it uniform so it creates a beautiful visual experience for me, your guest. So again, keep it simple and colorful, keep it eye-catching, decorate the whole business. Now here's some really fun examples of some great visual marketing promotions and advertising campaigns that companies have done. The one on the left, I just get a kick out of it. This is a subway platform in New York City during the winter, and a travel agency which was marketing the country of Alberta and going skiing did a little ad behind the seat in the subway platform. How cool is that? Visual, simple, to the point. To the right is an actual stairwell that you can walk down, and it says, create space, organize, and it's an actual ad for IKEA. How creative is that? Let's look at the next few examples. On the left, an actual stairwell to walk down, but it has the foosball guys. So it's that company's way of marketing, hey, you need to buy our foosball machines. Just really cool. To the right, well, just a really cool ad for Jeep, meaning that if you buy a Jeep and a 4x4, you can go anywhere, park anywhere, have adventures, do anything you want. Really simple, yet eye-catching. On the left, a bench with Kit Kat ad. How awesome is that? And then on the right, here's where I'm talking about simple and less is more, and it's my segue to talk about the verbal experience. The Denver Water Company with an ad about conservation. Use only what you need. How creative is that? How simple, how visual, and how powerful. And notice there's 5 words. Use only what you need. And that, to me, is what it's all about with creating the verbal experience. The wording in your ad is crucial. It needs to be simple. It needs to be clear. And it doesn't have to be much. So let's go back and take a look at that again. Use only what you need. Look at the Kit Kat ad. It's just all visual. It just says Nestle Kit and half the cat is cut off. So keeping it simple is crucial when you're putting together marketing or ad campaigns. So the wording needs to be powerful, needs to be simple, needs to be clear. And you need to script everything. Now, man, this is important. You have to script it. You could have just an awesome-looking promotion that you put together, but then you didn't script it for the team. So now something intriguing and ingenious that you put together attracts people to want to come in or want to engage you while they're in the salon visiting you and ask you questions about it. And if you didn't train the team in advance and create scripts for exactly how we're supposed to talk about the promotion, then we're going to miss the boat. So we need to be organized and scripted, and everybody needs to know exactly what needs to be said. So once we've worked on our visual design, our verbal design, we've created that experience, we now have to create tracking and incentives. So we have to have mechanisms that allow us to track the results daily, weekly, and monthly. We have to then take those results and post those results with the team, which then allows us to create a higher level of accountability once we launch the promotions to ensure that things are happening the way we need them to. So there's really no wiggle room there. So if you're creating marketing promotions and you're not putting together a way to track to see what's actually happening, who's doing well, who's not, and you're not sharing those results with everybody, there's really no way you're going to have follow-through, and you're left to, it's really on the winds. You're really then hoping that promotion is successful and happy if it is, and upset if it's not. So if you don't put together these mechanisms to track, there's no way you're really going to be able to put your finger on the pulse. Not only is this important when promotions are not working, but it's also important when they are working. When you track it, and if you had a successful promotion, you'll then have the ability to say, okay, what about it worked? Was it because of the ad? Was it because of the team? Who did well with it? Who didn't? There's always things to look at that can continue to help you sharpen that saw and get better the next time and the next time and the next time. I mentioned my client in Pennsylvania, Sue with Salon Artif. On our call this Friday, we track how they get all of their new clients. And she, about 2.5 years ago, moved into a new location. And we track this every single month. And what was amazing for us to see with all the myriad of different ad and marketing campaigns is that 30% of new business comes from people that drive by, see the building, come in, and walk in. Then another 25% are coming because of referrals from guests. And then another 17% are coming from referrals from employees who are asking people to come in. And she was super fired up to see that. That was a testament to her that her team is proud of the business and they're out there talking it up. Even though some do it more than others, and there's areas to improve within the staff. But overall, 17% of new guests were coming from employee recommendations. And then the rest was that mixed bag of ad, marketing campaigns, social media. So, the ability for you to be able to track this and put your finger on exactly what's working will then help you create ads and campaigns to speak to the people that are coming in from those different various mediums. Incentives. So once you create all your tracking mechanisms, then you want to create incentives. So my most important recommendation here is have the team create the incentive. Have them take the time to come up with the idea. Because, people get involved in what they help to create. Write that down. People get involved in what they help to create. And also write this down. What gets rewarded gets repeated. What gets rewarded gets repeated. So you can come up with some great incentives, and sometimes they work and the team gets inspired. But if you, in your team meeting, which I'm going to talk about in a moment, you give the team the opportunity to come up with and create the incentive that inspires them, odds are you're going to get a lot more buy-in, a lot more consistency and follow-through, and it'll make the promotion that much more successful. You should always tie in incentives with marketing campaigns. So the marketing campaigns obviously are for the guests and potential business, and the incentives are the behind-the-scenes driver to ensure that the team has a little bit more added boost when it comes to that marketing campaign, meaning they're talking about it, they're enthusiastic about it, they're fired up about it because they want to win something, and it makes it more fun. Now, as you're going along, you have to make it a big deal and share the successes. I can't say this enough. You're going to have people on the team that take on the promotion with a lot more ease. It's going to be easier for them. They're going to be more excited about it. They're just going to take the ball and run. Then you're going to have those that struggle. Maybe it's tough for them to come out of their shell. They're insecure. It's out of their comfort zone. So I don't care if you do it. look at it like this. You have a referral program that you're doing, a contest, and you have a technician who never asked for them. So you create the contest, you have the incentive, you launch it, and on the first day you actually see that person getting out of their comfort zone and actually asking the guests. And maybe they didn't ask it the right way. The first thing you got to do when you get a second with that person is to make it a big deal that they actually got out of their comfort zone and that it was a total success no matter the result. Why? Because they did something different. This is what I mean by making it a big deal. The smallest thing, even if they fell on their face and it didn't work and they botched the words and didn't get it right, make it a big deal because they tried. So what I mean is, the key to accountability with any marketing promotion and incentive is looking at the smallest thing that people did right and acknowledging it for them. And the key to accountability is beginning by being the biggest and best cheerleader and champion for the people on your team, and then coaching them through how they need to improve and share the successes. That's why posting the results is such a great thing to do. It acknowledges the effort and hard work of people. Last thing I'll say about incentives is it's a good idea to create team and individual incentives. What I mean by that is, let's say you have an overall team goal, and everybody's all fired up, and you hit the team goal at the end of the month, so the team gets rewarded. However, let's say you had 1 or 2 out of like 10 people on the team that did, let's say, 80% of the effort. So they're more than likely going to be a bit upset that they did 80% of the effort, others were lazy and lagged and didn't do anything, and then the whole team gets to share in all their hard work. And this does happen. I'm sure some of you on the call have probably seen that happen. So my recommendation is, if you're going to create a team incentive, that's a great thing to do, but you should have individual incentives and contests throughout the 4 to 6 weeks that you run the promotion. So let's say, so that way you're rewarding the individual contribution efforts of the people that are rocking and rolling. It could be something as small as $10 Starbucks cards, gas cards, full tank of gas cards. There you go. I mean, in this day and age, that would inspire a lot of us. But at the end of the day, small reward throughout for individual effort, and then a team award makes the most sense. So now that we have analyzed everything, we've looked at our budgets, our sales trends, our demographics, our surveys, and then we created the plan. We designed it. We know visually and verbally what we're doing, how we're doing it. We've created our tracking plans. Now it's time to have a meeting with the team to launch this promotion. Now, depending upon the size and scope of the program, that's going to determine whether you have the meeting a week before or a few days prior. If it's something that really is intricate and it requires a lot of teamwork and there's a lot of steps to it, have the meeting at least a week out so then the team knows and you guys can practice. You can do mock runs. You can walk through all the tracking mechanisms with people so they know exactly what they have to do. It gives them a full week to learn the script. If it's something more simplistic and to the point, you can have the meeting a few days prior. But ensure that you have the meeting. This shouldn't be just your regular standard team meeting and you talk about in the team meeting the marketing promotion that you're going to launch 3 weeks from now. Not really going to work for you. So ensure that you have an additional meeting. It doesn't have to be long. It could just be a 15, 20-minute huddle that you get everybody together and you explain what's going on and get everybody on the same page. Once you get everybody on the same page, they're prepared for it, now it's time to launch your marketing promotion. And as you launch it, you, i.e. the leader, you have to be the energy and the enthusiasm on a daily basis, or they, your team, won't get fired up about it. Don't forget that. You have to be the energy, be the enthusiasm, be the fun, have a presence, have that essence, and drive it. Make a big deal when the small successes happen. Post those results. Talk it up. Cheerlead. Your energy is what's going to have this follow through. And set your targets so everybody's clear as a business, individually, what the target is, and keep everybody abreast of how we're doing. And as you're doing all of this, you'll be able to know after the first week and a half, what level of success the promotion is having, what tweaks you might have to make. You'll have a good feel And your team will have a good feel for, is it working, is it not, what can we do? And after all is said and done, and all these steps I've walked through today, everybody, don't forget this. Even with all of this, you might still have a promotion that might not work the way you want it to. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's just the way it works sometimes. So be prepared for that. And there's nothing wrong with that. But I will say this, when you follow all the steps that I walked you through today, you're going to increase the opportunity to get the type of results that you want tenfold because you took the time to reflect, analyze, prepare, organize, get everybody on the same page, get ready to rock, launch, track, and follow through. So the next time you're ready to do some marketing and you're just trying to knee-jerk because you over-purchased a product or this or that happened, you're going to more than likely spin your wheels. You're reacting emotionally, and it's not going to work. So I would recommend that once this webinar is re-released, that you come back and take this class again and listen to it again and take the time to get yourself organized. We're in February. You've got 10 months left to really support you in having a plan for the next 10 months of the year. Take your time to start to do that now. If you don't plan out your whole year from a marketing standpoint, then you're just kind of going month to month, and you're in the now. You have to be able to look out into the future to make it happen in the most efficient way that you can. So with that being said, everybody, let me bring you now to what Part 2 and Part 3 of this series is going to be about. Part 2, grassroots marketing, how to build your business with little to no investment. That's going to be launched on the 27th of this month. It will be a 30-minute recorded webinar. In that webinar, you're going to be learning how to effectively market your business in a way that saves you money, learn how to get involved with local businesses and organizations, leverage relationships with loyal customers, and identify cost-effective ways to increase your publicity. That's what I'm going to be talking about. And then on March 12th, jump on the social media bandwagon. That will also be a 30-minute recorded webinar. And I might go maybe a little bit longer than 30 on that one if I feel I need to because of the information. So be ready for that. And in that, you're going to learn how to leverage social media in a way that makes sense and positions your business as a resource. You're going to be learning the do's and don'ts of using social media and various strategies to increase your social presence. And I'm going to be talking about the importance of systemization, organizing, and getting everybody involved in those efforts. So those are Part 2 and Part 3 coming up. Again, I'm going to remind you that we are going to be releasing and publishing this webinar that you just listened to today a week from now. That is next Monday. In the meantime, you can come onto our website, www.milady.cengage.com. You can follow us on Twitter, Milady Team. You can follow me on Twitter, Milady Coach SJG. Come and be a fan, if you're not, of our fan page. Over 30,000 salon professionals are on our fan page. There's so many. It's such a great forum to just get into some great conversations, great threads, learn a lot, and stay connected to your industry, not only information that we put out on our fan page, but what people in the industry are putting out on our fan page. So make sure you connect that way. And lastly, if you have any specific marketing questions, I'm going to take a moment here and spell out my email address so you can contact me directly if that's what you need. My email address is Stephen, STEPHEN, .Gomez, GOMEZ as in zebra, at Cengage.com. And you can see Cengage spelled right here, CENGAGE. And Cengage stands for Center of Engagement. And that is our commitment here at Milady Cengage to be the center of business engagement for you that supports you to take you and your business to the next level. As always, everybody, I really appreciate your time and energy. There's a lot of places you could have been here on what usually is a day off, so I'm glad that you chimed in. Don't forget, if this is the first time that you've joined us, this will again be released next week. And when you're on the website, our whole library of past webinars is there for you to listen to and engage. If you have any questions, fire me an email. I will respond by Thursday. I'm taking the next couple days off as vacation days to celebrate Valentine's Day with the wife. And on that note, I wish you and yours a very happy Valentine's Day. Take care of yourself. Have a great, productive week, and we'll talk to you on the other side. Thank you, everybody.